In today's tutorial we're going to do the Granny Takes a Dip with her new crochet super scarf. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we have another super scarf and this is called Granny Takes a Dip, and this is a really neat scarf. In today's pattern I know that not everybody loves the super scarves, so I'm going to be teaching you how to make this scarf smaller as far as the width, because you're actually just going back and forth to get to the length that you need. So here's today's pattern. You can see that it is a generous lengthening scarf going in the cross direction, and this is a granny square, but in actual fact it's like granny rows going back and forth all the way up. I've actually done afghans like this. I've done other projects like this. This is really quite simple, and I'm going to be teaching you how to make this shorter. So let me show you my example that I did off camera in order to figure out how to make it smaller, and this is what it will look like. And if you were to do the instructions, so you can see it's quite substantial, and when you're wearing it, it would stretch as well. So you can see that it's really quite easy. So in order to make this pattern in any size that you want, you have to do multiples of 2 plus 1. So you just go 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and at the very end you add 1 in order to get back to the size. So what we're going to be doing is on the edges is actually quite interestingly as you begin. So let's show it on this side. So on one side you have a double crochet that's standing by itself, and then you got 3 that are into the next. The next time you do this you're gonna have 2 that are in here, and then a gap, and then 3. The next time you're back you have 1 by itself, and then 3 into this gapping space, and then again the next time is 2. So all you just have to do is really watch these edges on where you are in this, and it's really quite. Now to do the scarf as is, you can just chain 55 if you wanted to, or you can just follow my instruction if you would like to change the width if you don't want it as wide. So we're working in the width, don't forget that. So remember what I said, it was chain of multiples of 2 plus 1. So I just go 1 2. Is it big enough? Yes or no? 1 2. Big enough? Yes or no? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And I got something fun going on there. And 1 2 and 1 2 and 1 2. Once you're satisfied with the width that you see it there, just add 1 extra 1, and then we're gonna begin doing the pattern. So let's begin on row number 1. To begin row number 1 we're gonna simply go back to the 4th chain from the hook. So just count back from the hook. So 1 2 3 and 4, and go to the 4th one, and you're just gonna turn it and get to the back loop and just do a double crochet into the back loop of that stitch, or of that chain. And the first 2 are gonna count as your 2 double crochets that are right in the very beginning. So now we're just gonna do the granny pattern as normal. So we're gonna skip 2 chains. 3rd chain you're gonna put in 3 double crochets and continue to stay on the back loop of that chain. It just makes it a lot nicer finish if you do that. It's completely up to you. So now that your first group of 3 are in, now it's gonna start changing. So we just only chained over 2 in this one here. We skipped 2 chains, but next time and all the way across now we're going to skip 3 in a row instead of 2. So we're just gonna double crochet 3 times into the 4th one over. So 1 2 and 3. Okay, skip 3, so 1 2 and 3, and go to the 4th. Like so. So we're just gonna be 3 double crochets into that same space, and eventually you're gonna get to the other side. If you're doing it much longer it'll take you longer to get to the other side, but in my case not so much. So in the very end then what's gonna happen is that once you get very close to the end you're gonna only skip 2, and then you're gonna double crochet once into the final 2. So you got 1, and then there's 1 more left, and you're gonna double crochet into that one as well. Okay, this is just to help you get started. So like in the beginning we had 2 that were here, and then we did our regular granny concept, and then we just did 2 double crochet right into the end. Let's move along to row number 2. So row number 2 is quite simple to work with. So we're just gonna turn our work, and we're gonna chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet. So 1 2 and 3. Like I showed you before, there was 2 double crochets appearing on the edge. This time it's only gonna appear as 1. We come right into this first spacing gap right here, and we're gonna apply our regular granny in there. So we're just gonna put 3 double crochets in there. And when I say regular granny, that's more of my slang. That's not a technical term in crochet. That's just me talking. Okay, so you put in your 3, you skip and go to your next space that's available to you, and you put in your 3 double crochet. and don't drop your stitches like I am. You know how it goes. So and then you just go to your next space, and what you're wanting to do is just pay attention to your spaces as you go along. You don't really have to think about much. This is a great TV project, if you ask me. And then finally you're gonna come into the last space that's available. There should be 2 double crochets that you see here, so right after it. So you just go right into the space and put in your 3. And like we started with 1 double crochet before doing these 3 in a row, like we had been on the very final edge on this side in the turning chain, you're only gonna apply 1 double crochet. Okay, do you see that? So let's move along to row number 3. So in row number 3 we're gonna turn our work and we're gonna begin. So row number 3 is always gonna be the same. So rows 2 and 3 are basically established. So we're gonna chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the very same stitch right underneath you're gonna put another double crochet into that same one. So this allows you to have the 2 that you had before is back here 2 again. So the one in between only has 1. So you're just gonna go right into this next gap right over here, and you're gonna apply your 3 double crochets. The reason why you're putting in 2 into the very beginning, if that makes any sense to you, is that it needs to expand over because this space is a long way away. So if you only put in 1 here, you're gonna have a really huge hole right in the side of your work. You just keep moving along your spaces and putting in 3 double crochets into each space. Okay, and you keep doing that all the way until you can see that you're getting close to the edge. So we're getting very close at this point. Obviously my sample is much smaller, and what I can see here is that there's 3 double crochets and 1 by itself. So in the very final turning chain you're gonna put in 2 double crochets into the same stitch, and that makes it balance with the other side. Do you see that? So let's turn our work and review row number 2 once again. So row number 2 is just 1 double crochet by itself. So that's only chaining of 3 because that counts as a double crochet. Come to the first gap right underneath and you're gonna put in your 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, go into your next space that you see and put in your 3. So really this is no different than doing a granny square in the sense of the spacing. You just gotta look for them, but you're just going across. So just keep on going. Okay, look for your spaces. You got 1 more space before the edge, and you can see in the edge in just a second is that there's 2 double crochets that are sitting by itself. So there's only gonna be 1 in the turning chain, the final turning chain, 1 double crochet by itself in this one. Okay, so 1 row there's 2, just like you see here, and in this row here there's only 1. Let's turn our work and just review row number 2 once again. So chain up 2, 1, 2, and 3. That counts as your double crochet, and then double crochet into the same spot. So there's your 2 right in the beginning. Reach over to this first space right over here and begin again. So you're just gonna go as long as you wanna go. You change the colors where you wanna change it. This allows you to change the width of your scarf in order if you keep it in groups of 2 plus 1. So multiples of 2 plus 1. Keep going until you get to the other side. Just watch this one on the edge that you don't try to jam it in between that 1 double crochet by itself here. So you just reach over, and in the very final one you're gonna place in 2 double crochets. So you just gotta watch for that, and you'll have a straight edge each and every time, just like that. So fasten off when you're ready to do so. The tassels are really quite easy. There's instructions available to you. This is a free pattern, and this is quite fabulous. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as YarnSpirations.com. Have a great day and enjoy your new super scarf. We'll see ya. Bye bye.